Hello and welcome everyone to the Multifamily and More Expert Series, where we dive deep into a specific topic with our expert guest in the area of real estate, mindset, or anything in between. This is part of a special 5-part series we're doing on underwriting expenses on multifamily property with the guest I'll introduce here in just a moment. But check out the playlist so you can get some insight on things like management fees, taxes, how to underwrite these things ahead of buying a property. My guest today, Steve Lyman, is the principal and owner of Superior Management Systems, a third-party property management company in Michigan, my property management company in Michigan, and is also the owner and operator of an additional 500 units, 1,000 units under management. He's doing big things. He syndicates. He does it all. He's got incredible hair, and he wears the same shirt for every podcast you ever see about him. Weird. Steve, welcome.
Hey, how you doing, Jamie?
Good to have you here, man. I appreciate you being here. So let's talk about marketing and advertising. This is kind of I think a quickie, but one that I think mystifies some people. Like, what is that, and how do I kind of assess what it is? So, what is marketing and advertising?
So, I would consider marketing and advertising anything that you are potentially paying to bring a resident into your property, right? It could be your website. It could be social media. It could be any service that you use to push out, for rent ads or what have you, any unoccupied unit that you want to get somebody in.
That makes sense. From a standpoint of a management company like yours, how do you handle marketing and advertising for your clients?
Yeah. So, we really haven't had to spend much in the marketing and advertising budget, for ourselves and for all of our clients. We want to make sure that we're keeping expenses pretty tight, right? Yeah. Because it obviously makes a big impact on the value of your property. So, we don't push a lot of marketing and advertising unless the property needs it, right? If the property is a distressed asset where we are completely flipping the property, completely flipping the resident base, then yeah, we're going to spend a lot of money on advertising and marketing, putting a nice website together and pushing out ads on apartments.com or Craigslist or any of the umpteen sites, that have ads for units. So it just depends.
Okay. Is something like and we talked about this under the management video, if you go back and watch that, but something like the cost of a lease up, is that marketing and advertising? So if I'm paying and your management company, I don't believe charges lease fees.
We do not.
They do not. So keep that in mind when you're underwriting your property in Michigan. Talk to Superior Management Systems. But if I were to pay a lease fee to my management company, is that marketing and advertising? Is that more of a management expense?
I would probably consider that a management expense.
Okay.
I mean, I try to keep my income statements simplistic in that, if you pay for hosting a website, you put that under marketing and advertising and subline item website. If you're social media, we have a line item for social media. So.
Okay. What do you think? What's a range or typical idea of what people might expect to pay in marketing per door per year?
I'm going to go anywhere from, I don't know, let's call it $10 to $20 a unit per year.
So very inexpensive. If you got a 100-unit property or a 10-unit property, you're talking $200 a year, essentially, right? Up to.
Yeah, and obviously that might be different because if you build a website for that property, and it could cost you $1,000, right? But it might cost you that the first year. But hosting a website is whatever, $12 a month.
I didn't know you were an expert in this too. We're adding this to the real estate investor, dental expert, management specialist, and website.
I will not build your website. I will.
Wasn't sure.
I will buy your dental practice. If you have a dental practice, I'll buy your.
There you go. That's it. He's good at that. Yeah. All right, cool. Is there anything else on this that people should just be mindful of or aware of when it comes to marketing and advertising?
Just be aware of, what is the seller doing for marketing and advertising right now. I don't think it's something you really need to dig in deep with, but if they're not and there's some opportunity there, I would maybe allocate a few dollars to building a website or pushing out some social media to have some resident exposure.
Good point, right? Like if you're taking over an asset that's done the exact opposite of that or needs it, that they've done nothing with it, the market that it's in doesn't really doesn't allow for great tenant flow, and your strategy is to market the heck out of the property. Well, that's maybe $20 a unit, depending on the size of the property, or maybe it's a few $1,000s to start, and you want to make sure you underwrite for that. So yeah, I think with this one line item, it came up in one of the groups, in the Michigan group specifically, as a question, because people aren't quite sure what it is, how it works. And at a minimum, I hope we've sort of given you some insight into what it is. And it's really one of these items that it depends on that property, what your strategy is. And when we talk about per door cost, $20 per door on a 10 units different than $20 per door on a 100 unit, but the cost may be fixed the same way. In other words, a website's a website. It costs $1,000 to open it, to create one, right? And apparently $12 per our social media website expert here, Mr. Steve Lyman. So that's what it is. But no, that's really good stuff. Steve, where can people find out more about you, more about Superior?
I think the easiest place to go is our website, which is www.superiormgmtsys.com.
Beautiful. And then on there, you can check him out. He's got his LinkedIn, his Facebook profile on there. Hit them up. Great company. I hope everybody does take a second and check out that website. It'll be right down here in the notes on this broadcast. Steve, thanks again for being on here. Appreciate it.
Jamie, appreciate the time.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.